So, you join me in the edge of a forest on what is a very well established world, as you can probably tell by the map in the corner of my screen. However, I have decided now is as good a time as any really to start. I just want to save my world, basically. I want to be able to look back in however many years' time and think, this is what my world was. I will do a world tour at some point, because I think it is quite important, but for now, this is going to be the first video, and it's going to be focused on one thing, and that one thing is at the end of this path. We start off with quite a normal path, but then we go to this angled thing. The angles are they're 90 degrees, but they're for nostalgia reasons, which is because I used to play on a server, and when I first started playing Minecraft, I used to think everything had to be 90 degrees, so we've got perfect 90-degree squares. Anyway, we come out into this clearing, and in this clearing you can see some chests. You can also, I think, probably see, yeah, the top of... So, this huge clearing here, which if I just do a little flying out, you can see is relatively substantial. There is a cow. Hello, what is your name? You look like you could be... Oh, you look like you could be Brenda. Brenda the fat cow. Actually, no, Brenda. She's not a fat cow, she's lovely. It was her 66th birthday recently. She's not a fat cow. Anyway, on with the build. So as I was saying, before we got distracted by Brenda, this clearing is something that I've been thinking about for quite some time. I want this to be like a tavern, kind of. There's going to be a big sort of main building here. That's the hope anyway. I'll have a path going off up here and into somewhere. I mean, what is... Oh, I mean, that looks like death. And it'll head off into the great unknown, into the mountain that I think oddly resembles Godzilla, which I would zoom in on, but I don't have my zoom mod because I'm free camming. But maybe I can do that in editing. I don't know. This is my first video and it's going to be a pile of crap. So, I've been doing a little bit of explosions here, which is why I've got this TNT next to Brenda in my inventory. And I have been blowing this up because I want to have, next to my path here, a little bit that can come down, wind its way around, and in here there's going to be like a little back entrance to this tavern thing. At least that's the hope. But first I'm going to need to get a lot of materials because I don't have any of the stuff I could possibly even begin to need. So I'm going to go on a little ramble to do that. I already have up there a big spruce chopping station because no, I don't have a farm. I am not redstone competent whatsoever. Redstone competent? No. Redstone literate. Redstone literate. I'm not redstone literate at all, so that will have to do. But it does for me, so I'm going to gather some materials. I've only got a few here, but these are just odd bits from a, let's be kind and say, failed attempt. So as I am flying up here to my wood chopping thing, I've realised I've done a terrible introduction. So, hello, my name is WonderfulSBB, which is the first time I think I've ever actually said my username out loud, so that's a bit strange. This is my skin. Let me get naked for you quickly, which I know everyone would love. Yeah, this is my skin. This is me. I am 19 years old as of the time of recording this. It would be my 20th birthday in 4 months' time, and I want to see what it's like editing Minecraft videos. But for now, I have to chop down this tree, and if I could remember how to play the bloody game, that would be great. So I'm going to start mining this, and I shall lead you back down by our little tavern location. Yes, that is a railway, we'll get to it eventually. Meet down by the tavern location shortly. One day I will create a hoe, a fortune hoe, that allows me to mine these leaves quicker, but in the meantime I've just got to wait and run around like a headless chicken whenever a sapling drops on the floor, in anticipation of being able to replant my many trees. Hello, you. An unexpected surprise, but a welcome one, nonetheless. Back to work. It's you again. In the rain. All alone. Your toenails tasty. They're yummy. Look into it. Oh, I can see your eyes. There's a tail behind those eyes. No, not that one. Oh, it wiggled. It knows I'm talking about it. I can't leave you in this. That was embarrassing. But the great thing is, because it's my video, I can edit all this out and nobody will ever know. Or I could keep it in, and then everyone would see my terrible singing and I'd be really embarrassed. Sucking all this stuff up. Oh, I hope I didn't have a lot of levels. I probably did. Organise my inventory. Which is such riveting content. Everyone's really wanting to watch this. Wow, I mean, look at this, guys. Have you ever seen such exciting content? And we're done. We are in my storage system, which I shall reveal in the world tour properly. But all I need is one of those. And then we can go and save our friend. Just a quick sleep to turn it to day, and ignore that message in the chat. I realise there's a fine line between kidnapping and helping, but I like to think I'm going to be helping you. Clearly you've got a... Whoa! Bit aggressive. You're coming with me anyway. Let's take you back home. Come on, little one. These are the stables at the far... I was going to say these are the stables at the front of my house, which they are, and we're going to put you in here, but I forgot this is where I was keeping all my friends. Oh well. Come on in, donkey, into your new home, which nothing bad has happened in whatsoever. I know you really want to be in here, so please don't go wandering off. Oh, bollocks. Right, come on. In we go. In you go. I know you really want to be in here. There we go. Your new home. You are here with this noisy and annoying bunch. And Spanner. You are here with the rowdy bunch and Spanner, which was my day one horse. Well, now that that little performance is over, it is time to get back to material gathering. So, as I said earlier, I shall meet you down by the tavern. And hopefully this time I won't die when I land, because that was really embarrassing and I really don't want that to have to go, because I do not want to be humiliated in my own video, which no one's going to see. Jesus, that sentence was long. You know what I said about humiliation? I'm very much doing it now. I'm going to stop recording. So I am now back. I have got a lot of spruce, which should all be in this chest. Yes, it is. Don't know if I'll need that much, but knowing my luck, I'll probably run out halfway through and then have to go and find some more, and then that'll just be one whole big thing. You know, something I've realised is that while I keep thinking that nobody is going to watch this, on the very, peculiar chance that someday I keep uploading loads of videos and actually end up with a decent kind of platform, people always go back to watch the first video. So while I say, oh, this is so embarrassing, no one's ever going to see this, so it's fine. If that does happen, people are probably going to see this, and I'm going to be... Embarrassed might be an understatement, but you know what? It's the first video. Everyone's first video is pants, and if it isn't, you're a liar. So, as I head down to the mines, excuse me, with a mouthful of chocolate, because when I'm recording this, it has just been Easter, and as a result I had a lot of Easter eggs, and I am currently enjoying a Cadbury Dairy Milk one, although dairy milk is nowhere near as good as it used to be. This is my cave. My cave is, well, it's a cave. There is no ancient city nearby, despite what this might lead you to believe. and I just come in here to mine out ores. This is what's a geode. There are various holes in places where ores once were. This was all tough, for example. But yes, I'm here for more tough now. Wait. No, I'm not. I don't need tough. Oh, hello, zombie. Do you want to have a war? Wow. Guess I'm better than I thought. Anyway, what I actually need is deep slate. And so I've come to my very square deep slate mining area, which is just a load of square tunnels that leads off into another cave, which I won't even bother to look around because it's just a load of nothing. And I'm going to mine. So I shall see you in a little bit. Oh gosh, things have not gone well for me. Things have not gone well at all. I'm just not going to go over there for a little bit. Oh, hello, Bat. What's your name? We shall call you Patricia. Okay, so what was meant to be in this segment was me basically explaining that the build that I'm going to be doing, this tavern, is heavily inspired by a post that I saw on Instagram. But because I didn't know how to separate audio layers when I filmed that, which I did do later on in this video, thank goodness, but I didn't at this time, you can't hear anything because the deep slate mining is so loud. So all I'm saying is this build is very inspired by a post, which I will link in the description. I'll also flash an image up on the screen. And yeah, that's pretty much all I said. Enjoy this mining content. Okay, so this next segment is even more yapping. I mean, give me a platform and I'll talk for days apparently. So I was basically explaining in this that the reason I'm doing this is so that, by this I mean these videos, is so that not only can I show off to my friends, and by that I mean say, here's this cool new build that I've done, please go and have a look and see what you think, there's a video of it on my channel. It's also so that in 20, 30 years time I can look back and see what I was doing now and think, wow, that's quite cool, or either, wow, that's really, really bad. Depends what I'm doing in the future, I guess. But I can look back and think that's what I was doing and get this warm sense of nostalgia, which just building things willy-nilly won't give me. But building things, recording them so I know when I did it, how I did it, and having all those memories saved, it's kind of like keeping a diary of my Minecraft world. So I think, yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Okay, this should probably be enough. And by that I mean it definitely won't be enough, and I definitely will have to come back here. But for now, I'm going to say that is enough, and I'm going to head... Oh my goodness, hello sir. You are dressed in the finest brown armour. You kind of look like you're wearing meat. Shiny meat, I'll give you that, but meat nonetheless. Like Lady Gaga that one time back, like, oh my god, that was over a decade ago. I'm old. Now I can turn myself into Lady Gaga using that. Anyway, as I was saying, it almost definitely will not be enough, and I will definitely have to come back here, but for now, I'm going to say that's enough. Head back, ouch, head back to the surface up this very poorly designed staircase. You know, I could probably just fly up this. Oh yeah, that was much easier. Welcome to the back part of my base, which once again, will be in the world tour next episode. Don't look at me saying you should have done the world tour in the first episode. I know I should have done the world tour in the first episode, but that's the fun thing. I don't do things the way they should be done, do I? No, because I am mad. Or at least that's what some people say. Other people say I'm an old lady trapped in the body of a young man. So, it's up to who you ask, really. Okay, you join me in a greenhouse with some crops that are really quite large because I've downloaded a resource pack. Anyway, I have work tomorrow. It is currently 3 minutes past 12, which means I need to go to sleep because I have work tomorrow morning, so I will work on this more tomorrow. Good night. Welcome back. It is the next day. I am feeling very well rested. I have had my whole day at work, and now it is time, if I could get the buttons right, to play some more Minecraft. Okay, so just jogging my memory, I had collected... Okay, I need some regular stone, let's go and do that. Something I have realised as well yesterday while watching some of the clips that I'd recorded back, I had put it all on one audio channel, which meant that, oh my goodness, that's a problem. But it meant that whilst I was breaking some of the deep slate deep underground, nobody could actually hear what I'm saying because of the sound of the blocks breaking. So I'm hoping now by having it on a separate audio channel, that'll make editing this a bit better when I eventually get around to editing. That's a bit more done. Dump that in there. If I could actually click things, that might help. You know, I think I've spent more time walking along this path trying to get some sort of cinematic shots without flying to reveal everything that's already in this world than I have doing anything else in this video. Anyway, let me talk you through plans. So, I'm thinking I'm going to have a big main entrance here with a big sort of gable roof on, very kind of medieval. There's going to be like a clock tower just to the side of it, separated by a little something, maybe a little balcony around the side of the clock tower. And I'm thinking on this side over here, because this is going to be the main building gable, I want to do maybe an extension, but one that's sort of in keeping with the original build, as if the building, the tavern itself, has been there for hundreds of years, and sometime in the 20th century they decided to slap on some ugly extension and then retroactively try and make it look pretty. Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. Okay, so I've done a bit of measuring and I've come to the conclusion that this distance from the back should give me enough space to play with. Anyway, let's get building. Okay, I like that height. I can work with that. So a problem I find I always have when I start building is that I start one part and then I get way too carried away creating all the details and whatnot instead of actually just getting the main shape of the whole build done. So I've done the tower. I haven't done the back apart from up here because I figured this is roughly where I want the roof to go. It took me a while because I thought this wall is really quite tall, it needs something in the middle. It took me ages to think of the lodestone, and I thought that would be quite cool because it's quite expensive. I was originally going to go for a diamond block, but it just stood out like a sore thumb. I've learned recently, as of creating this, that they've actually changed the crafting recipe for lodestones, which I don't actually have any more of in my inventory, to be 1 iron ingot and then 8 of this, what is this? Chiseled stone bricks, I think. Whereas before it used to have a netherite ingot in, so it's not as expensive as it once was, but it's still cool. Okay, so I have done the main facade here. It's lacking a lot of details, and it is quite literally just the front. I am green. But I'm thinking about maybe here I'll put some flower pots protruding with some bushes going in for it. Maybe this could be a flower bed. Or actually it could be a little bench outside the tavern for people to sit and eat. And this will going to be a hanging sign here for whatever the name of this tavern is. I'm enjoying it so far. You can very much see the inspiration with this bit from the image that I showed earlier in the video. Hello, you find me here on top of a hill, which has nothing in the background that is spoiling the next video at all in any way whatsoever, so let's not look at that. What we're here to look at is this. I told myself what I do is I build segments and then I do a little clip like, oh gosh, look, I've just built this segment here, but I got carried away. So I did this little balcony, which I actually quite like, and if this tree wasn't in the way. So here's the balcony. It's quite basic, quite simple, but it's a balcony. I don't know what you're expecting to do. I still need to add lighting and details. Like I said, around the front, maybe some pots and bushes and stuff. And then there's this here, which is pretty much just copied from the other side. I say pretty much. I did copy the exact same thing, except these pillars go all the way to the floor instead of coming in and being flush with this. And then, speaking of straight up copying, this pit here is just a direct replica of the front because I say direct replica, I changed the blocks around a little bit so the texturing is not all identical, but it's pretty much an exact copy of what I did around the front of the building. Anyway, I'm yet to do the roof, as you can see, but what I have noticed is this white segment here, which I did do around the front. You can see the other bit there, and there's another bit of it there. This white segment that I've kept reusing is actually at a different height to the windows of this main gable. So either the floor is going to have to be at the height of this window, or the floor is going to have to be at one level here, and it's going to have to dip down so that you're standing looking out of the window instead of standing at the same height of the window. But who knows, maybe floor to ceiling windows were a trend back in medieval times. I'm not sure, I'm not a medieval historian. I do intend with these shutters, I want to put some buttons in them to make it look like, well, I say shutters, they're shelves, but to make it look like shutters, I want to put buttons in them so it looks like you can pull them open and closed. That's my idea there anyway. And yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to do the roof. This door confuses me because this one only has one door in the middle, whereas the front door has two doors on either side. So I keep walking into this and then smushing my head underneath the trapdoors. I'll learn one day. But yeah, I'm going to do the roof now, and then when I've done that, I've got to figure out what on earth am I going to do with this side here. I mentioned maybe doing some extension, but at the moment, I really have no idea, so we'll see. I like that. I think it needs some sort of... What's it from this side? Yeah, I think it needs some sort of chimney or something there to add a bit more height. I know there's the tower here is doing a lot of work, but I think it just needs maybe something poking up at the back there, where that birch tree is, and definitely something on this side, because this side here, if I just stand on the tree, this side is just... Yeah, I don't like how flat it is, and you can just see straight off into those trees. It needs something to break up that sideline. But aside from that, I finished the roof. Just quite plain and simple. I did these patches of cobbled deep slate as opposed to the polished deep slate, just to make it look like it's been worn down a bit. Just in patches as opposed to the kind of randomness of this texturing here on the andesite and the stone of the tower. So as the sun rises on a new day, I have come up with this. I built this half out of stone, half out of scaffolding, because I ran out of scaffolding because I put it all over there for that. Anyway, hello. Huh. Load of rubbish. Okay, so the thought process behind it, as I mentioned before, is that it's going to be a kind of new-ish addition to this old tavern building. So it's not going to have a roof like this, a gable roof? It's not going to have a slanted gable roof. It's going to have a quite flat, just sort of seating area, and I'm thinking maybe I could put a sort of leaning roof coming out of this side of the gable up there. This could be a massive mistake. Okay, so this is it finished, I suppose. I need to put in all the details, like plants and whatnot, and lighting, obviously, because at the moment it's very, very dark, and so's the sky, actually. I've got to go to bed. Whilst I was sleeping just then, it occurred to me that I had forgot to put the chimneys in, so here we go, we've got these chimneys. They are in no way functional, but I think they look quite nice, quite run down. I went for coral towards the bottom, and then this kind of messy amalgamation of stones at the top. They're all fairly similar. Over here, I decided to go for a dual gable end. It's the kind of quite vertical gable where you go stair block, stair block, stair block, and then you get to the top. But I think it works out rather well. It's not as flat as that one there. I know I said I might do a lean-to, but I think this looks better. This window is quite similar to the ones at the front. I may do a little bench in front of it, but I didn't really know because I don't know how I'm going to arrange chairs on this for the seating area. This is another window with a shutter that is similar to the ones in these white sections, which are the sections where the window is floor to ceiling, because that's all the rage in medieval times, you know, floor to ceiling glass windows. The door I couldn't bother to craft, so that's why that's not there. But yeah, I'm liking how it has turned out. You once again join me on top of the scaffolding, and if I just use my camera, we can go around. You can see I've put some flower pots, some lighting, everything's looking a bit better. With that, I think our medieval tavern is now complete. I really like how the extension worked out. I think it works rather well. I'm still debating whether or not to put a roof on it. If I do, I'll do it next episode. I know next episode is going to be the world tour, but we can have more than one thing happening in each episode. Besides, I'm sure most people are eager to see what the hell that is. He says as if anybody is going to watch this. As we head around the back, it does get a bit tight. You have to navigate it a bit, but there's space around here for decorations, a little courtyard. I mentioned earlier in the video that I'd blown this up, so I need to fix this and do a pathway, but I think that's something I'll do in between episodes. I did include a ladder, so that when this floor is fixed, you can climb up here onto the back. That door, let me fix it now. If I don't fix it now, it's never going to get fixed. Do I have no dark oak? That door really adds so much to the build. But aside from that, I think the build as a whole has come together really quite well. I love how it looks from a distance, and if I head down the path, the square nostalgic path, we come out into the clearing, and I think it turned out really rather well. I might do something with this sign later on, and this one's going to have the name of it written on, which I'll do in the next episode. But for now, I'm really loving it. Of course, I have to decorate the outside, and I mean, lest you forget, the inside is in dire need of work as well. I am thrilled with it, and I don't need to do the interior for it to be a good thumbnail. So, I am going to leave it like that. Thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, which is going to be the world tour, which reveals all the knacky doodahs which are in this world, which I probably should have recorded from day 1, but we are now on day 1010. So you win some, you lose some, but we're starting now, and that's what's important. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye!